crazy day. The moon is conjunct Jupiter in Gemini, and and it's super hot. It's over 100 degrees, and I just didn't feel like going for a hike at the river, man. I'm here at the park. But check these guys out. I love these guys. Let's see. The curious Gemini chasing geese. Not just geese. There's a nice little pond. It's got some scum on it, though. I'm going to talk about the search for perfection here today. I tell you, the main thing, this is going to be a story time. It's story time. I'm going to go into Black Moon Lilith, baby. I mean, she's conjunct the South Node exact on Saturday. For many times. Yeah, I'm just going to hang out with the geese here. I think there's some ducks too, but where'd those ducks go? Moon's going from Gemini. Curiosity kills the cat into Cancer on Thursday. Tomorrow, mañana. Up here's Jonathan Livingston Geese all by himself. What's going on, buddy? How you doing? What are you thinking? He's just looking for something to eat. That's the big thing. It's all about the food. Anyway, this is a Pele report, man. Let's get serious. So shoes, moon goes through Cancer, and what? We have a new moon at 14 degrees, 23 minutes of Cancer. Okay, on Friday, what can we say? First she goes into Cancer tomorrow and in conjuncts Pluto, because he's right up there at the beginning of Aquarius. And then goes into the new moon, and on Saturday, there you go, baby. Trines Saturn, squares Chiron, conjuncts Venus, trines Neptune before she goes into Leo on Saturday. So the moon's making all kinds of woolies as the black moon conjoins. Look there's a couple of geese out there on the island. I should go out to the island. Anyway, other things that are happening. I mean, today Mercury is opposite Pluto. If you haven't noticed, and if you're not obsessively thinking about something, we'll talk a little bit about Mercury opposite Pluto. Other aspects happening. There's really just a bunch of sextiles going on. Friday, Mars sextiles Saturn, okay, over there. I mean, the big thing, I think, is more that Mars is approaching Uranus. Next week, we'll have a Mars-Uranus conjunction. That should be interesting on the war front. Okay, but, for now, Friday sextiles Saturn. That's nice. And Monday, Venus sextiles Uranus. And Mercury sextiles Jupiter. And the only square going on is Venus will be squaring Chiron. And I was almost thinking about talking about that today. This Uranus and Chiron are moving at just about the same speed these days, as Chiron is way out there towards the orbit of Uranus. And therefore, since they are 30 degrees apart, which is a semi-sextile aspect, that's not a harmonious aspect. It's kind of interesting that whenever something sextiles Uranus, it squares Chiron. And whenever something is in a harmonious aspect with Chiron, it's in an inharmonious aspect with Uranus. So there's really a Uranus-Chiron connection, going on for, all of 2024, pretty much. Maybe I'll talk about that next week. We'll see if you guys are interested in that or not. Anyway, I'm just gonna, So Saturday, moon goes into Leo. Sunday, she opposes Pluto, conjuncts Mercury. You know, Mercury is there in Leo, and then by Tuesday, she goes into Virgo. Yeah. So, with all of that stuff that a lot of people skip over this beginning part anyway. So that is enough of the factual, astronomical information. And now we want to get into just what's it all about, Alfie. All right, everybody. I found a nice little place in the shade here where I can sit and talk to you for as long as I want. That's what Cancer says. I'm going to do what I feel like. Okay, so we have this new moon happening in Cancer. And what is that about? It's a new start, a new beginning, lays it out there for the next month. Kind of an overtone. Okay, and it's the beautiful part about this, this is, Cancer is nurturing, holding, creating safe space, the breastfeeding mama, the rocking the cradle, the child within, the child without. It's a sensitive, intuitive, psychic energy that is, it's very inward. And like I say in today's mantra, and like I think humanity has been saying for a few thousand years now, this is not important. It's not important what's going on inside. It's not important what you're feeling. Get to work, get the job done, learn more, be a tape recorder and, play back everything that we tell you, and don't feel your inner self. Don't get in touch with your own genius or your own creativity. No, we want everyone to stay in the flock, and we are the shepherds. This is the patriarchs, obviously, right? So there's been a real diminishing of Cancer. There's been a diminishing of the feminine, a diminishing of the importance of water and earth, okay, in our total makeup. It's been about fire and air and who's the smartest and who's got the most, who can fight the longest or whatever. I mean, it's just been, but that's changing. Come on. Yeah, baby. Pluto's going into Aquarius. We're entering the age of Aquarius. We've emerged out of Kali Yuga, the darkest, time. So, it's like boop, 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 boop. Things are coming up. But, it's interesting because I'm going to talk about the shadow today. Black Moon Lilith has to do with the shadow. And it's becoming aware of the shadow, becoming aware of the dark that actually is more liberating, more enlightening, more freeing. So it's an interesting world where it's inside out, upside down, outside, macrocosm to the microcosm, and the outside mirrors the inside. So anyway, let's get into this Black Moon Lilith because, and this is big stuff. She's going back and forth, conjuncting the south node of the moon for, many times. And so she is in the sign of Libra for a long time. And, I was just kind of considering this, looking around going, well, why isn't everything like hunky-dory? Jupiter's in Gemini, Sun conjunct Venus. Everybody should be happy. Now, I don't know, maybe it's just I'm doing too many chart readings for people asking, too many questions, but, there is this sense of foreboding, heaviness, lack of trusting the future, and, insecurities arising and things like this, that, and the other thing. And things aren't like super hunky-dory, and a lot of people are having relationship issues and challenges and problems, and Yeah, there's a lot of complex things going on, but I'm going to say that Black Moon Lilith conjunct the South Node in Libra is something that we want to be aware of, be awake to, and maybe look at, process, feel into, and it can open up new doors. Like I say, a Black Moon does want to. She does want to liberate us. Yeah. So we have a couple of different things. Okay, there's the dark moon, and then there's the black moon, and then there's Black Moon Lilith. There's an asteroid, and then there's the mean motion, and there is the true motion, and so you have to be careful with this, and people say, wait a minute, I've got Black Moon Lilith in a different sign, than you said. That's because I use the true Black Moon Lilith. And I did for a long time use the mean, just because it's easier. The mean motion is the average motion, right? So it's, we can take the average motion over a period of time, but the fact of the matter is that the Black Moon, and let's look at it, it is not a planet. There is no physical matter there. It is a point in space, okay, that really helps, okay, to like, it is it has to do with the apogee of the moon, and it holds the moon in her orbit. It's this gravity center. So it's a focal gravity center in space, having, very strong connection with the moon's orbit, okay? So it's not a planet, and you can't find it in a telescope, and so a lot of astrologers don't even really use it. It doesn't have a north node and a south node because it's not a planetary body. It doesn't cross the ecliptic, right? So a lot of people use the mean motion because she is wild, like the feminine. She can shoot like 45 degrees, okay, in like a week or a month or whatever, and then retrograde back, and then go forward and back. I'll tell you, she has come into conjunction with the south node of the moon. I'll read you the dates, okay? April 28th, retrograde May 6th, direct May 29th, retrograde June 7th, direct, kind of, sitting here from July 4th to July 6th, just kind of like, boom, hanging out there. Okay, then retrograde, August 11th, hits it again. September 3rd, September 19th, October 1st. The whole week from October 21st to the 28th, she stations right on the south node. Okay, then she goes, into March 5th of 2025. She'll actually go back down into 28 degrees of Virgo, because we know that the moon's nodes go retrograde. Okay, this is just how many times she goes back and forth and back and forth and okay? If we average that out, the mean Black Moon Lilith entered, okay, the average motion of her entered Libra on June 29th. And is going to go along and stay there until March 26th of 2025. I mean, this is a good, solid 9 months. She spends, her mean motion is 9 months in a sign. So she'll do Virgo, Libra, back to Virgo, into Libra, back to Virgo, into Libra, back to early Libra, Libra. Then she'll go into Scorpio, back to Libra, Scorpio, back to Libra, Scorpio, back to... So in March of 25, she's going to officially, according to the mean motion, be in Scorpio, okay? But she's venturing into Scorpio later on this year. Also, the true Lilith. Okay, so if you have planets obviously in Libra, Okay, she is, just, going back and forth, stirring up the shit, giving us all a bit of a hard time in the realm of relationship and partnership, and we want to talk about what that is all about. Yeah? Okay? But first, I think I'll just do a little bit of the mythology. And I've just pieced this together. This is my own version of Lilith, and you may find something else about her someplace else, and that's fine. Go with whatever you resonate with. I'm not attached. So, but we first see her, okay, as the handmaiden of Inanna. Yes, back in the times of Gilgamesh, of ancient Sumeria. A very powerful time period. This is the beginning of astrology. Some say the beginning of civilization. You go back to Göbekli Tepe, back there in Turkey by the Tigris and the Euphrates. This is the cradle of civilization, and yeah, this is really where a lot of it all began. And Inanna, of course, is the the goddess of love, beauty, and the queen of heaven. And so she was a handmaiden of Inanna. I mean, whoa. And she lived in the trunk of a tree in Inanna's garden. And the serpents would make their nests in the roots of her tree, and the white doves would make nests in her branches. And she lived in the trunk. Yeah, so she's this connection between the underworld and the celestial world. Here is Lilith. Yeah, kind of like really connecting, making that connection. Anyway, her job actually for Inanna was that she was a priestess in the temple, a temple prostitute. Yes, she taught sacred sexuality to the warriors, when they returned from their battles and came into the temple, and she was in charge of the beautiful maidens that would, help the masculine to understand sacred sexuality. She was one of the first and original tantrikas. So, yeah, very, very super, super powerful. And this, of course, is during the time of the matriarchy, where the feminine was adored and revered, and the men came into the temple seeking, understanding, nourishment, wisdom, teachings, everything from the goddess, that goddess energy that was magical and gave birth out of seemingly nowhere. It's very innocent times, way back when in the matriarch, yeah? And then what? Boom, men found out that, they had something to do with the creation, and the goddesses weren't just having babies come out of them out of nowhere, but that baby is mine, and that one is not mine, and therefore you are mine, and then in comes the patriarchy. And this is around 6,500 years ago. Yeah, actually even more than that now. It's more like around 6,500 BC. So this is, there was that big turning point, and of course, what brought that in? The frickin' Bible. So then we have Lilith showing up in the Bible. Oh my goddess. Yes, the first wife of Adam. The first wife of Adam. And, very powerful, dynamic, kundalini. I mean, this is this, amazing goddess energy. And the only line you read in the Bible is that Adam said, I want you to lay beneath me. You don't say this to Lilith, yeah? The original tantrika, the teacher, the powerful goddess, lay beneath me? Are you kidding? She split. I'm gone. I'm out of here. You're a doldrum. You're just a dunce. See you later. And she went out to the banks of the Red Sea. And there she gave birth to hundreds of beings a day. She is the goddess. Talk about fertility. I mean, she represents so much fertility, and even has a connection with cancer in that way. Yeah, so she's a great goddess. Full of life and always giving life. And of course, Adam complains to Yahweh. Ay, what are you doing? What do you think is going on here? I'm all alone and I'm lonely. Bring her back, bring her back. So Yahweh sends out 3 angels. And those 3 angels go to the Red Sea and they go to Lilith and they go, you must go back to Adam. And she looks at the angels and says, what? Are you crazy? I said no. I said no. And when I say no, I mean no. Think of your mother. When your mother says no, she means no. Okay? It's just like boom. This powerful, powerful energy. I'm not going back. I'm not laying beneath. I'm no less than, and I'm not going to tolerate any form of, discrimination or disrespect. Boom. Only this is now the patriarchy, and the angels come in and say, well, for every day that you do not return to Adam, we will kill and destroy 100 of your offspring. And she still said no. They went back. Well, they didn't go back. The angels of death, came. And, and I don't know if you can imagine the horror. If we can sit and feel into the pain and the suffering of your children being taken. Think of everything Leo, everything 5th house, every creativity. Just think of everything that you create. If you're a painter or a musician or a mother or a father, you give birth to a business, you give birth to a project, and it's destroyed, taken away from you, killed. That really hurts. So she's got some anger, doesn't she? She's been around for thousands of years, okay, getting dissed and getting, just hurt, punished. This is the original punishment. Anyway, in the meantime, as she is out there by the Red Sea, maybe that's why the sea is red, is all the blood of Lilith's children. Here's Adam, she's not coming back, and Yahweh goes, all right. You can't handle a wild, independent, powerful, strong, feminine goddess. I'm going to make one out of your rib. That's just a little more tame, a little more like you, and not, as hard to handle. And here comes Eve. Yes? So then we have Eve. And, Lilith, as part of the sisterhood. Yes, as part of the still wanting to teach, help, and heal the feminine, for sure. After what she's been through and is still going through, right? She goes back in. And at the end of the video here, I'll show you a number of Renaissance paintings, yes, that show Lilith as, the female-headed serpent. She is the snake, represents the Kundalini, yes? The snake energy that offers Eve the apple from the tree of life. Tree of wisdom, the tree of knowledge. Like, here, sister, wake up to the truth, wake up to the, the apple has great symbolism and significance. Only men have an Adam's apple. Yeah, they're very interesting, lodged there in their throat. But anyway, so She also, appears here again, okay, as this, temptress, the temptress of Eve. And then of course Eve gives the apple of the tree of knowledge to Adam, and they wake up. They wake up to, aha. Yeah, I mean, they're the free will. They come out of innocence, out of naivety, out of, hey, wait a minute, I've got some kundalini, I've got some power, I've got some blah, 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 blah. And it is the awakening of self-consciousness, which is part of the, they call it the fall, but it's the incarnation. We incarnate into these bodies and we become, we go through the school of planet Earth to become more aware, more conscious. It's becoming conscious of the unconscious. And of course now this shadow part is the unconscious. And so we can and that's that's kind of it, right? That's the end of the story. I mean, Lilith is still out there by the Red Sea. And maybe she's Palestinian or something by now, but just having her offspring, her children devoured. And this, of course, everything astrological symbolizes, reflects an aspect of our psyche. Mars is our inner warrior, Venus is our inner goddess, the moon is our inner mother, Saturn's our inner father. We've got all the planetary energies. These archetypes are all aspects of our own human psyche. So the Lilith represents symbolically, okay, within each and every single one of us, okay, the shadow, the part of us that we have rejected, the part of us that we have sent away, and particularly here in Libra. I actually brought a little can of soda with me today because I'm not in any hurry. I got some sparkling water with no calories and no sugar. This is all very good for you. Oh goodness, sparkling water. But it's got what? Black cherry lime. Oh yeah, let's check it out. So, what we got? What is the shadow? Like I say, our parents, teachers, and preachers repress and suppress. We don't want you to be that. We don't want to see that. We don't want blah, 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 blah. Wherever you've got Lilith, okay, it's this part of yourself that you have rejected in your past lives, okay? It's your shadow. And then you come into this life and you have all your external authorities rejected. And so it's just like, hide that. Don't be that. Okay, like that's wrong. That's bad. That's And so we do it on the sly, and maybe we hide it from other people. Okay, but it is also undermining our own reality. So wherever you have Lilith. And I actually have Lilith conjunct my descendant, but it's in Pisces. This is where, like, just don't be that. So let's look at Libra, okay? Don't be all about relationship, all into partnership, all about teamwork, cooperation, compromising, working together. Don't be obsessing over the opposite sex, or that you're going to find something out there. So there can be this part of us, okay, that we have, like, we're obsessed, or we want to be it, or do it, or find it, or go there. But it's been poo-pooed, shoo-shooed, yes? And so it's like, okay, well, I won't talk about it. I'm not going to tell mom and dad, or anything that, I just go to school, to hang out with my friends and make relationships, and I don't care anything about school. I don't care anything about work. I don't care anything about money. I'm all about Libra. Partnership and relationship and beauty and harmony. But now here is the challenge. When it goes into shadow, okay, it goes into this place where there is this, and we have to see Libra is coming out of Virgo. And so there is this, if you know, they have a lot to do with Virgo being the perfectionist, but in reality, Libra is the ultimate perfectionist, looking for the ideal partner, the ideal mate, the ideal color and painting, and just, you know, harmony, beauty, peace. So it's, you know, it's really looking for this. And the thing with Libra is what? It's looking for it out there. Yeah? In a person, in a partner. So these people go through disappointment after disappointment after disappointment because nobody's ideal. Nobody is perfect. And they're seeking it, searching for it, and what? Getting judgmental about it. Yeah, so there can be judgmental. This downside of this is just like, you know, oh, you know, you're too big, oh, you're too small, or you're too dark, or you're too light, or you're too dumb, or you're too smart, or you're, you know, and there can be this like, it's not fair, and they're not balanced, and they're not creating harmony. They're bringing in a bunch of judgment, you know. It's and the source, you know, like the root of this is about what? Well, it's a fear of loneliness. Yeah, you know, our shadows all have to do with our fears, and so, you know, Libra in its Black Moon Lilith in Libra, in its manifestation, okay, can come through as, you know, nobody's good enough and nobody's this and da 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 da, and then I just like give up, or I avoid relationship and partnership, or I deny that I need relationship and partnership. I'm gonna go to Aries. I'm gonna be my strong self. I'll be Taurus and self-sufficient, and, you know, just like, you know. But that shadow is really what is, you know, the bottom line of creating, you know, that separation, that separation, and that sense of, you know, isolation. And it's not easy, and it's not happy, and it leads to a lot of sorrow. Like I said, a lot of disappointment, a lot of loneliness and separation. And this is just like really, so now, you know, transiting Lilith, okay, you know, comes around for 9 months, all right, and, you know, she goes around every few years, you know, around the whole zodiac. Takes about 9 years. She's about half of the moon's node cycle. So the moon's node cycle is 18.6 years, and Lilith is half of that nodal cycle, pretty much like 9+ years. Anyway, this time period of conjunct the south node of the moon, the black moon, the moon, ruler of Cancer, the feminine energy. I mean, we were all going through a time, and like I say, she was first conjunct. That was way back in April. Yeah, April 28th. And is sticking around, you know, for, you know, basically, she first came into Libra, the true Lilith, in February 29th of 2024. And she's going to, you know, go back and forth until, yeah, May 9th of 2025 is the last time she's going to set foot in Libra for 9 years or so. Yeah? So, you know, she's on the move, just like the geese. Check them out, man. The south node of the moon is the dragon's tail, K2. The north node of the moon, okay, is the dragon's head, Rahu. Vishnu was the one who came along and sliced and separated, okay, that serpent dragon energy. And this, therefore, the north node of the moon is, the mouth going into the future, grabbing, eating, taking things in, wanting more, okay? The south node is the tail, the anus, the let go, okay? The shit it out. It's like goodbye. It's so Lilith coming over the south node of the moon will bring up, and the south node has to do with the past. The north node has to do with the future. So we can be in kind of a loop these days, or hopefully not, but we can, try to break out of that loop. But a lot of our past relationship issues, maybe not the people themselves, but the same issues that have wrecked our relationships in the past can come up to the surface now to be looked at, to be resolved. This is a time of shadow work in our relationships. And that shadow work, and it's like the mantra says, okay, this is, it's a time to listen. A lot of times we can see everybody else's problems better than we see our own problems. We can see everybody's issues better than we can see our own issues. We need, use, and hire other people to point out our shadow, to point out our faults, so that we can improve, evolve, work on them, liberate ourselves, and move on, baby. So yeah, this is where, relationship is hard. It's challenging because it's based on projection. And I really look at this. I think there's this book, something about the Eden. I forget, but all relationships start out as projections because you don't know the other person. All you see is a physical appearance. Now, Libra can even judge that physical appearance. Black Moon can just go, oh, you're not da-da-da-da, and not see the value behind the appearance. This is a challenge with all the air signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. The wind blows over the surface. There can be looking for superficial surface beauty and not penetrating or staying or sitting long enough to deepen and see the value behind or within that person. Don't judge a book by its cover, right? Is the saying. But Black Moon, Lilith, and Libra can judge the book by its cover and very often is, and can even gossip, okay, and and talk to everybody else. And this is the thing, this there can be an obsession where everything is outside myself, and what do you think, and what do you think, and oh, look at her, and oh, look at him, and oh, this get very involved in other people's business, meddling in other people's relationships, in other people's, so she can just like really be, challenging, and so, Lilith, it's like, here, take the apple, trying to pass out the apple to everybody. But this shadow element, okay, is that on a deeper internal level of being, there is a soul seeking connection. There is a soul wanting union, wanting relationship. And it's hard to see these people, with this energy. It's very self-defeating when they can blame or project that this isn't good enough, or that's not right, or that's not enough, or there's too much of that, blah, blah. And these are all kinds of, means and ways of undermining what their soul actually is seeking. Whoosh! Very hard to talk to people about their shadow. Very hard to talk about these, these elements. But when it comes into this, into this sign of Libra and conjuncts that south node, yeah, it's really, it behooves us to really listen, okay, and to seek value. This is how we heal the black moon Lilith in Libra, okay, is to really go behind, go beyond, let go of the judgment, and find out what is valuable about that ugliness. That ugly person, or that, nasty this, or that, violent this, that, what, spirit has created everything, right? I mean, all of creation is here for our evolution. So there has to be some value in even what appears to be, right, like the worst, or the ugliest, or the most deformed. So it's even if it's everything has a function. Everything has a function. So there's even a function for, right, deformity, or ignorance, or, I mean, everything plays a functional role in the spiritual evolution of humanity. So if we go, get over our bias, or our judgment, or our seeking some ideal form of perfection, we may find another expression of perfection. Well, that sounds like a song. Expression of perfection. We find expression of perfection. The song for this week. I don't know the name of it. Darn it. I'm looking for the name of it, but it's hey now, don't treat me so bad. Hey now, do you know? It's an old song. It will be in the, I'll put a link to it in the notes below the video here. And I have to thank everybody. Oh my God. Last week I asked for songs about healing. I don't know if you looked at the comments, but I could make a whole playlist. In fact, I want to if I find some time. I'm going to make a whole healing playlist because so many people came in with like all these songs about healing that I haven't heard of. I think the most popular one, is Trevor Hall, Healing Takes Time. I kept, that just kept coming up and coming up and coming up all over the place, but I'll check that out. Anyway, it's easier to look without than it is to see within. So rather than blame, avoid, or deny, I will do well to listen again. Look at these guys. Uh-oh, I've got some new friends. I've got some company. Hello! Hello, what are you doing? I love, there's nothing like ducks, man. Oh my God. Yes. Hello. I got something over here. They're gonna come after my can of pop. Anyway, yeah, that's a sign. It's over for today. It's easier to look without than it is to see within. So rather than blame, avoid, or deny, I will do well to listen again and find that kernel, that diamond, that value, that something You know, even when somebody's like yelling or screaming or da da da, da, you know, there's something to be gained by listening and empathizing and understanding where just where they're coming from, and we help each other see ourselves. So may you not just be looking in the mirror, but actually engaging in relationship to see aspects and sides and parts of yourself that are maybe a little buried, fragmented, set off to the side, shamed or ignored. And as we accept ourselves, and we accept all these fragmented parts of ourselves, we become whole again. Hallelujah! Namaste, aloha, so much love.